When I'm on the go, I take NCTV45 with me.
The Crane Room for your lunch and dinner rendezvous. You'll enjoy their pleasant atmosphere. The Crane Room takes pride in their wide variety menu. Appetizers, sandwiches, soups, salads, entrees, pasta, and the best burgers in town. Newcastle's best selection of domestic, import, and craft beers from around the world, and the Crane Room features a 35-tap draft system. Ask about their daily specials that will please you every time. The Crane Room is located at 3009 Wilmington Road in Neshannock Township. Call 724-656-1553. Make it Lanigan's Irish Pub, where you'll be amazed with the weekly specials. Pub grub, salads, burgers, sandwiches, Irish specialties, and desserts. Lanigan's has a full bar featuring domestic, craft, and Irish draft beer. You can also book a party at Lanigan's at 126 East Washington Street in downtown Newcastle. As they say at Lanigan's Irish Pub, the best Irish food since Ireland. Call 724-657-3444.
Quiet, relaxing tranquility. That's Bethy's Bakery and Eatery in Volant, Pennsylvania. But you may ask, is it a bakery or is it a restaurant? Bakery, restaurant. Well, they have cakes of every kind. And not only that, they have burgers also, and turnovers, and salads, and donuts, and nachos, and cupcakes, and cream puffs, and just goes on and on. But let's not forget, home of the plate-sized cinnamon roll. Is it a bakery? Is it a restaurant? You decide. Bethy's in Vogue.
It's Butts Flowers in downtown Newcastle for fine gifts and more. Butts Flowers, 120 East Washington Street, Newcastle, with a wide variety of flowers for any occasion. Call Butts Flowers 724-652-7727 or toll free from anywhere 1-800-443-7726. It's Butts Flowers in downtown Newcastle.
Keep watching NCTV45 for Cook in the Castle. You're going to love it.
Hi, I'm Gary West for NCTV45, and this is another edition of Gentleman's Monthly. My guest today is Jonathan Rondinelli, and he is an interior designer, and his company is Jonathan Rondinelli Incorporated. Jonathan, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure, and I think for our viewers this will be interesting. Not too many interior designers in the area. And before we talk about what you do and your business, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I was born and raised right here in Newcastle. I went to Neshannock schools for elementary, middle, high school, and then I pursued an undergraduate degree in piano while I was building a business as an interior designer. With those major markets being, Pittsburgh and Cleveland, and obviously the areas between them, so Newcastle actually became very convenient for me. Throughout that process. So, and I do have, I'm venturing out now into several other states and also internationally, which is very exciting.
And so you still have family members throughout the area?
I do. All of my family, virtually immediate family, still lives in the area.
Well, as we said, Jonathan is an interior designer, and he just touched on the fact that he does a lot of his work in the greater Pittsburgh area and the greater Cleveland area, but He's always expanding. We could call him an international interior designer. Want to tell us a little bit about that, Jonathan?
Well, this past week was very exciting for me because I had the opportunity of meeting with a man from India who is one of the 100 wealthiest people in the world. And that was a very exciting interview, and I can now happily call him a client. So international, I would say, I'm on the verge of that, if not just past.
Get some Indian recipes off
right,
of him.
Right.
Well, Jonathan, because this is Gentleman's Monthly, we know that you can give some advice on some of the guys that are watching right now on how to be a gentleman with wardrobe and how you present yourself.
Well, I think wardrobe and being a gentleman, I think that's a very, very comprehensive idea. And it's predicated on details. I think details are very, very, very important. And, like I had just mentioned, I met with a very, very powerful person, and for him to take me seriously, a lot of elements and a lot of thought kind of have to go into that. What types of shoes, what types of outfit, what types of accessories, what to do, what not to do, and I think a lot of those aspects are very, very important, down to the pen that you carry and the briefcase that you have. And, somebody who's walking around with their shoes untied and their, shirt half untucked and all of that, are they really going to be taken seriously? If you're going to miss those details, what other details are you going to miss, transferring that to, your profession or, no matter what you do, and to a certain extent, you have to be a chameleon and you really have to play, to your audience too. I wouldn't wear the same thing that I would wear to that meeting, to meet with a client who, maybe was, a farmer for a profession or something like that.
Yeah, so you do your research before you meet with a potential client.
Absolutely. And I take the time, to really kind of play into what would be exciting for them or, what would be appropriate, for that situation. There's also etiquette, in China, India, United States, there are certain ways that you should be doing things, and you also have to take that into account. You have to take into account the person that you're going to be meeting with, or potentially doing business with, whatever. So, do
you have any competition in this region or actually any region for that matter?
I would say no. And the reason why I would say I don't have competition is because I want my clients to want to work with me. When they contact me, they know what they're getting into. They know what type of style I offer, what my end product is, what type of value, they're provided with, and, they're always kind of pre-qualified. So I would say that as far as competition, if you like my ideas, if you want to work with me, I'm a very reasonable person as far as that goes. And, it'll be done from there. So as far as competition, I think other people, interior design's a very individual thing. And, I believe that what I offer is, a great value, and I would say it's very unique. It's kind of one of a kind. So,
how do you communicate with your potential clients?
Well, with potential clients, they're always, because I virtually do no advertising. So with potential clients, they would have either heard about me or, through a friend, or they were excited about a project that I did, or whatever. So there's already kind of a background, if I may. And when I communicate with them initially, obviously it's through, email, potentially, phone if it's more of a direct contact. And with modern technology, text messages and cell phones and emails, I can have clients in several different projects going in several different states. And it's pretty streamlined that way.
We're talking to Jonathan Rondinelli. He's an interior designer. We have a little bit more time in this segment of Gentleman's Monthly. A little more to talk about with Jonathan. Can you give us some highlights, walk us through the process from start to finish when you land a client?
Okay. Let's say I have a client who calls me who's interested in a design, or they like something that I had done, or a friend had referred them to me. Obviously I find out what they're interested in, whether it's new construction or a remodel or a single room, and then, I like to set up a time to meet. And at that point, you know, when I go and meet with them in their home, in their residence, in their space, you know, I kind of take everything in. I'm kind of like a sponge, and I absorb everything that I can to understand where they are and what I can do to offer them full potential, you know, for their budget, for you know, their personal taste and style. A lot of times husband and wives, you know, have very different ideas of what they want or style. So I try and find something, you know, find an idea, a concept, you know, that will be conceptual and cohesive, that will work for whatever their needs are. You know, because to an extent, I have to be selfless, you know, especially at this point in my career, and give clients exactly what it is that they're looking for, you know, even if they don't know what that is just yet. And that's part of, you know, why they hire me, to find out what, you know, they're going to be celebrating.
Now, before we started our conversation on camera, off camera, you mentioned some examples.
Yes.
And I think that would be good for
Sure.
the viewers to know a couple of those.
Examples of projects
Yeah.
or clients?
Mm-hmm.
Well, for example, when I was 12 years old, I did a project actually at my parents' house, because interior design's always been a hobby of mine. My grandmother was a decorator for 40 years. You know, it's on both sides of the family, and you know, that was something that was very interesting for me, and it's still a project that I would be proud of. You know, and from that, you know, I've done $1 million whole house remodels. I've done rooms, you know, for the same figure. You know, and now I'm really starting to become a known international designer. It's a very exciting kind of transitional period for me. You know, I'm kind of going from almost a millionaire client to a billionaire client, and that circle of people in Manhattan and throughout the world is really starting to know who I am and what it is that I offer, and that's kind of where I always wanted to be. But I still, to this day, you know, my bread and butter is Pittsburgh and Cleveland, and I still have clients that I service even right here in Newcastle. So
Now, Jonathan is young, but he already has many, many years of experience. As he just mentioned, he started at 12 as a hobby doing this kind of work, but he actually moved into the professional realm at 19, right,
yes,
Jonathan?
that's correct.
Yeah, so
That's
you're
correct.
you're in your upper 20s now, so you have a lot of experience already, and that's to your credit. Before we wrap things up, we definitely want you to give us some contact information.
Sure. Well, probably the best way to, you know, further look into me even would be my webpage, which is www.jonathanrondinelli.com. It's JONATHANRONDINELLI, and my email is the same. It's info@jonathanrondinelli.com. So that would be the best way, probably, of an initial contact.
Any final thoughts?
You know what? Just being a gentleman and being a professional, you know, going back to those details, you know, I think, you know, having details in your attire, what you wear, you know, even the type of vehicle that you drive, you know, even the color of the vehicle, they all say something about you or about your character or whatever. And, you know, be careful, you know, and play to your audience, you know, to a certain degree, you know, and make sure that, you know, you're being appropriate, you know, because you never know what type of situation you might find yourself in. So.
Well, Jonathan, thank you for being with us today. It's been enlightening as to what you do, what your career is, and maybe we'll have you back again in the future.
Sure.
You give us some updates on what's going on in
Sure.
your life. It's Jonathan Rondinelli, Incorporated. He's an interior designer based in the Newcastle area, but works everywhere. As I said to him earlier, I said, sky's the limit for Jonathan. You know, he's an international interior designer. So thanks, Jonathan. Keep up
Thank you.
all of your success. And that's another edition of Gentleman's Monthly. I'm Gary West for NCTV45. Bill's Bake Shop will make you happy. Bill Cast is the owner, and he and his staff keep the tradition going with all those bakery items that you remember as a kid. Just to name a few items, Bill makes cream sticks, cinnamon rolls, bear claws, cream horns, cannoli, cakes, pies, cookies, bread, pizza, and so much more. Bill's Bake Shop, located at 228 North Liberty Street in the Mahoningtown section of Newcastle, is open Tuesday through Saturday, 7 to 5, and Sunday, 7 to 2, closed on Monday. Bill's, where smiles are everywhere. Call 724-654-4223.
This is NCTV45. You can watch us anytime on your time.
Give Mangena Outside Services a call when you want a yard project done and done right. Bud Mangena is the owner, and he and his staff will do just about any yard project, and he also does hauling of your trash and unwanted items. Mangena Outside Services covers the greater Newcastle area with very affordable prices. Tell Bud you heard this message on NCTV45, and you'll receive a 10% discount. Call 724-614-3658. That's 724-614-3658. Hi, I'm Gary West on location at Little Johnny's 2 in downtown Newcastle, right on East Washington Street. I'm here with the owner, Chris Quiera. Chris, you got a great place. You've been here how long now?
We've been downtown coming on 4 years now, but Little Johnny's has been around for over 15 years.
When you walk into your restaurant, right away you see a lot of spaciousness, it's clean atmosphere, and on every table I notice you have your menu, and that's what impresses me most about Little Johnny's. It's not just delicious pizza, he has a huge variety. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's very true. We do. We have dining for about 50, so you can come in, you could sit down, you could eat, but say you're on the go, we do delivery and takeout as well. And not just pizza, like you mentioned, we do flatbreads, we do wings, we do strombolis, calzones, hoagies, salads, so it runs the gauntlet.
You have
whatever
soup
you need
too,
to eat.
right?
We do. We have homemade wedding soup, homemade stuffed pepper soup. So whatever your needs are, we can do it for dine-in, delivery, or takeout.
And they have great pricing. They have a lot of beverages as well. You're going to love Little Johnny's Pizza because they've been around a long time and they know what they're doing. So stop by, and what's the contact information, Chris?
Little Johnny's 2, located at 130 East Washington Street. Give us a call or stop in, 724-657-2210.
Be looking for us on the road again, NCTV45.
EAS, Emergency Answering Services, can get that call when you can't. We are a trusted answering service who operates 24/7. Locally owned and operated. When you need help answering your phones, call EAS. We'll get the message to you.
We're with Sammer from Mary's Restaurant in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Sammer, how are you today?
Very good, thank you.
That's great. Can you tell us what kind of food you have at your restaurant?
I have lots of good food, and I have chicken over rice, kippy, gravy, lemon rod, chicken rod, all healthy food, no worry about that.
Sounds great.
Thank
Middle
you.
Eastern food. And you're on Long Avenue in Newcastle.
Thank you, yeah.
Open from
6 day a week,
6 day a week.
from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock to 10 o'clock night.
11 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Okay. We'll see everybody at Mary's Restaurant in downtown Newcastle.